بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Welcome everybody to the Safina Society Nothing But Facts live stream after a 3-week hiatus in which I myself and a whole bunch of our guys here went on a long journey. Not too long in terms of time, but long in terms of miles traveled and cities visited and experiences had. And on this stream we're going to tell you all about it, but our purpose to tell you all about it is that inshallah in the future you're going to go. And now that we've trodden the path, now a lot of people go to Tarim, Yemen, which is where we made our trip, but I can't really tell everybody about something that other people said. It's not a strong base of transmission, right? But now that I've seen it myself, gone through it myself, got the visa, came back through customs without a problem, I want to tell everybody about it. I'm going to show you tons of videos and pictures, and hopefully from next winter on, there will be a lot of people going. This year, there were about 70 people at the winter Dawra. Now, some of you will be asking, what are you talking about? Firstly, we went to Hadramaut, Yemen. Yemen is divided into two parts. What's called the north, which is more like the west. Actually, it makes no sense the way they call it the north and the south, unless back in the old days their maps were upside down. We're at a right angle, rotate left. It's left. Western Yemen is where there are bombings and issues. Eastern Yemen, especially the more south areas, have no issues at all. We went through, we got the visa, we came through custom as if nothing happened. Right? So anyone who's worried about going to Hadramaut, Yemen, you really shouldn't have it, and we're living proof right here. So I couldn't say this before, having not done it myself, but now that I've done it myself, I could tell you. The place where we go, the school that we went to, al-Mustafa in Yemen, they run a winter Dawra, like a winter 1-week retreat, which is in Arabic and in English, with brothers there, Western students from Detroit, from England, old friends of mine from London who've been there for 20 years or more, right, which I reconnected with, and other brothers from Manchester, Sheikh Musab Penfound from Manchester, brothers that we know and they're relied upon and trusted, and even our own guys. We got 3 of them, Ryan, Alian, and Habib. So now that we know people on the grounds, I know the visa guy, I know the guy who handles everything now. Right, I'm in communication. Now I feel very confident in telling everyone about it so that you can all go and experience it yourself. Next year, brothers and sisters can go to this Dawra. And it's 1 week. And it's the coolest time of the year in terms of temperature and weather. You don't want to go in the summer. I mean, I'm not discouraging anyone, but it is really hard to focus when you're so lethargic and hot and sweaty and dusty and it's a mess. But this was just like beautiful weather. It's like autumn weather. Funny thing is that they're wearing gloves, some of the guards there who's sitting outdoor, wearing gloves and a scarf, and he's as if he's in Buffalo, New York. So that's the purpose of this stream, to share with you everything. Let's go straight to the map. Omar, are we on this map? Okay, so you see Sana'a is there on the left. You have no business with Sana'a. Okay. That's where the day that we were departing for the Sana'a airport was bombed. I thought, oh my gosh, they might shut the whole thing down, right? All the airports may close. But no, not at all. As if nothing happened. We get to the Sayoun airport. It's probably the funniest airport you ever go to, where the uniform is just like a bunch of guys wearing white shirts. That's and Allah knows best. It's as if they never seen a foreign passport before. It's like they were so confused. But anyway, it's almost as if the local brothers from the masjid are running an airport.
They made us start doing the work.
I'm telling you, that's the feeling. They even pulled over Omar to start helping them. Here, sift through your friends' passports, open them up.
Paperwork. And I was like,
they went and made printouts. Here, help us out. And it was like ammus, basically. You know, like ammus? You know what this term means? Okay, like Uncle Sabs, basically, right? It felt like you're just at home, but it's an international airport, right? It was amazing feeling that the righteousness and piety of the general population there. You could just see the honesty. So let's get to the pictures straight away, because this was a journey. Now you notice I didn't I didn't promote this. I didn't advertise this. I didn't do any of that because it's our first time. I don't want to take people on our first time. It was supposed to be a small group. It ended up being 19 of us. 19 is not a great number to travel with as a Muslim group, if you know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, you guys get that reference or not? You know the 19? You don't want to travel to the Arab world as 19 people. But anyway, two of the guys had wives, so 17 males, 2 females. And we ended up going there through the long route with 2 layovers in Cairo and Jeddah. That allowed us to do a Thursday night Umrah, and I've told you so much about the Thursday night Umrah. Dua there is, you could, what's the saying? Put it in the bank. Is that how the saying goes, right? Put it in the bank. Take it to the bank, right? The dua of Thursday night Umrah, you could take it to the bank. There is nothing more powerful than that. So we did Umrah, and we had to haggle to find vans that would take 19 people down to Umrah. Poor guy got lost getting to Mecca because there's so much construction in Mecca now that the guy must have been lost for like 20 minutes, right? No, 2 hours, sorry. Yeah. 4 times. The guy was lost for like 2 hours. Johnny's asking, what's the 19 reference? Either you know, or you just want me to say it. I'm not going to say it, right? 19 Arabs traveling or 19 Muslims traveling. Not exactly the the reference we want to bring up here. We want to make people feel safe. You got it, right? So we're 19 guys, or 17 guys and 2 sisters. In Jeddah, luckily, we had some connections in Mecca, to let us use 2 hotel rooms at no cost. And we were able to throw our luggage in there. We had a 20-hour layover in Jeddah. 45-minute ride to Mecca. Umrah all night. Then got our stuff, packed up, and right after Salat al-Fajr, or before? Right after Salat al-Fajr, took the ride back up to Jeddah, and then took the flight there to Sayoun, Yemen. Here you get to see your first image of Yemen here, where we're headed. We're in Hadramaut. It's flat top mountains. They're not super high, right? But they're high, but they're not super high. But they're not mountains like this. They're mountains with a flat top. Plateau, which causes big problems for them when it comes to rain. If it does rain, the water just sits there. Then it comes down. Huge mountains all around. It's almost like you're in a stadium. Being in Hadramaut is like a stadium where you're on you live in the fields, and all around you is immediately, boom, these mountains. Right. So the water flows down really hard and causes a lot of flooding. All right, next picture. Okay, so I wasn't there, but that was Imam al-Haddad's. Okay, the Misbah of Imam al-Haddad. Okay, huge, yeah.
Each of them are like this big.
Wow, I missed that trip actually, unfortunately. All right, that's another example of what the mountains look like, and that's, I believe, the extension of the school at which the programs were, Dar al-Mustafa, led by Habib Omar bin Salim bin Hafid. And that's an example of the mountains, flat top mountains. You can't even climb them because they're straight vertical at the top. There's an angle, but then they go straight vertically up. Next. All right, let's play this video here. All right. All right, so that is old Tarim. The school that we go to is not in old Tarim. It's in a new part of Tarim called Aidid, which was not settled before Dar al-Mustafa. Omar, are they hearing this audio too? Okay, good. So again, this is old Tarim, and we were headed to a class. The shuyukh there, why are the people righteous? Why are the people good? The shuyukh are giving classes, halaqat, gatherings in different masajid in the city, non-stop. We must have attended in 1 week 5. Those are the ones we made. 5 from the Dar al-Mustafa shuyukh that went out. Those are the ones we attended. There's probably 15 others that we didn't know about. Yes? You want the remote? Here. Yeah. That specific one was Ihya Ulumuddin. That was a class given on Ihya Ulumuddin. Next. All right, look at that night sky. Now, one of the things we noticed as soon as we got there, we've never seen this many stars because the light pollution is hardly any light pollution. Next. Okay, that's one of the bigger masajid there. And you could see that they construct everything with this lime and wooden doors. And you'll see a motif that they use that's very specific to Hadramaut. This seems to be a bit more of a modern building. Okay, so the founder of this group it's a massive, large family. Beyond that, you can't even call it a family anymore, right? And they're all descend from Ahmed ibn Isa al-Muhajir. They call him al-Muhajir ilallah. And who is he? He is the son of Ali al-Uraydi, who is the younger brother of Musa al-Kadhim. The famous name that we know there is Musa al-Kadhim, son of Ja'far al-Sadiq.
Was it Muhammad al-Naqib and then Uraydi?
Maybe there's someone in between.
Yeah,
maybe I'm messing it up.
Yeah.
So it's Ja'far al-Sadiq. We all know him. Okay. Who Malik took fiqh from him. Somebody recently asked me, why does Malik narrate from him? My sheikh, he got upset. He's like, how could you say that? He took fiqh from him. Right? And Ja'far al-Sadiq was not a narrator of hadith, but he was a teacher of fiqh. He took fiqh and he took what we would now call tasawwuf from Sayyidina Ja'far al-Sadiq. Ja'far al-Sadiq had a son named Musa al-Kadhim. The brother of Musa al-Kadhim was who? You said Omar?
No,
Muhammad al-Naqib? No, Ali al-Uraydi.
yeah, but
Okay.
his son was Muhammad al-Naqib,
Okay.
and then his son was
From Ali al-Uraydi was the younger brother of Musa al-Kadhim. And then there's Muhammad al-Naqib, and then there's, and don't skewer me if I missed a name here or there. Then there's Ahmad ibn Isa al-Muhajir. He is the one during the Qaramita, fitna of Qaramita. He fled from that fitna from Iraq, went to Mecca, went to Medina, and ended up settling in Hadramaut. Not in Tarim yet, but in Hadramaut. Hadramaut is that valley that we talked about. Okay, and from there, their offspring was just like a small family. You could at that point you could call it a small family, and it grew and grew and grew and grew until one of them, his name is al-Faqih al-Muqaddam, a couple generations down, is the one who said, we're going to be solely devoted to ilm, and we have nothing to do with trying to get power. And so he symbolically broke the sword. And from then on, they've always been Shawafa, Shafi'iyya, Asha'ira, and then when the books of Al-Ghazali arrived, they embraced it. You know, books of Ihya Ulumuddin, when it arrived at some people, sometime it took a while to arrive. It's not like today, it's hot off the press. No, it took a while for these books to end up in a certain town and then be read and be examined by the scholars and then be accepted. So it ended up, that's really, they took the Ihya more than any other people you'll see. Like the way they care for the Ihya and teach it. There are multiple khatam of Ihya in the city happening at any given time. So that's their tradition there. This masjid was photographed from an elevated place, which was the masjid and the grave site of al-Muhajir Ahmad ibn Isa. All right, next picture. Another video. Let's see. Yep. All right, pause it right there. Yeah, I'm sitting right. So that's Sheikh Murabit. If you want to study Aqidah with us, advanced, Maliki Fiqh, advanced, you go to arcview.org and you study with Sheikh Murabit. Okay, you go right now and you just start. Wherever they are, you go. And you make up the rest later. In the front row are who I call DS1, DS2, DS3, and DS4. Yeah, four brothers from... Yeah. Four brothers from Dallas, mashallah, who were part of this trip, and they're all munshits. And inshallah, they'll be visiting us here one day, set up an echo to the mic and give us some nice qasidas. But they were part of this Dawra, and they were really good munshids and very good students of knowledge. Sitting next to Sheikh Murabit there in the white turban, that's Sheikh Musab Penfound, who you could say is one of the leaders of the Westerners there. So everyone who speaks English, he's been there one of the longest. And he has that leadership personality. He's very bright, intelligent, mutawazin, and he's the respected leader amongst them. And there's organization. What they don't allow in Tarim is Westerners to just show up. You have to be connected to the school in some way. Possibly one of the reasons, if they just have Westerners just living there, it could corrupt their system. So they have a culture there. They have a system there. And they don't want that corrupted. So they actually have a nidam. Can't just be a Westerner, show up, buy a house or rent a house and just do what you want. You need to be connected with them. And the way they control that is the visa. You can't get a visa without, unless you go through their channels. So that, now where is that? That is at it's on the top of a mountain where we're at, where the Prophet Hud is buried. Now let me tell you a little bit about the visitation of the grave area of the Prophet Hud. This gathering there is a pre-Islamic gathering. So when the pre-Islamic Arabs would have trade, when they would have one of their big markets, how would they trade? They would trade almost, you could say, I like to look at it like tennis tournaments. You have tennis tournaments everywhere, right? But then you have the big Grand Slam tournaments. So when we trade, we want to all trade at the same time. I don't want to show up cold to your city and you're not ready. I want to show up where other people are there. So they would have trade markets and they would have seasons. So this month will be here. This month will be there. So all the merchants would go. Then they have the Grand Slam trade markets. The big expo. That was 3 big expos. I mean, probably more, but there's 3 big ones. Yemen, in the wintertime, in Shaban. In the summertime, they would go to Syria, and then in Dhul Hijjah, in Mecca, right? So they would go to sacred places because Arabs did not have governments, they didn't have police, they didn't have any assurity that I'm carrying loads of money. I can get robbed. So they would trade next to a sacred location for that reason. Okay? They would trade next to a sacred place so that people start to have some shame from robbing people. When you think about it, like you're going with 4 months worth of money, of wealth for you, and not just you, your tribe. And not everyone goes to trade. Let's say you go to trade. All right, here's my money. Go and trade with it. Or here's my product. Go and sell it. And we deal with it when you come back. So they're going with camel loads. So the sacred places they chose in Mecca was, of course, the Kaaba during Hajj season. In Yemen, where was the sacred space? The grave of Hud. The visitation of Hud is not something that the Ba'alawis invented, but they transformed it, and I'll tell you how. The marketplace of Hud at that area, at the grave of Prophet Hud, we used to go on from before Islam. After Islam, it continued. I think, see, all this Sheikh Musab told me on the way there. I think it was, it was Sheikh Musab or another Indonesian brother. It was Al-Faqih Muqaddam himself. He said, everyone's gathering there. Huh? Indonesian? Faqih Muqaddam, okay. Faqih Muqaddam said, people are already there. Let's make it a gathering of akhirah as well. Right? So it's almost, in our world today, Super Bowl Sunday, everyone's gathering. Let's transform it. You know that's actually happening. People are getting together for Super Bowl Sunday regardless. Even they don't want to watch football. It's just to become a thing. Right? People have parties at their homes for Super Bowl Sunday. So last time I went to one, they said, one of the dads, he said, listen, all the shabab are here. Halftime, we have a dhikr and a halakah. So that's what it's becoming, right? And skip the halftime. So they just skipped the halftime shows an hour, right? So it's like, you take something that people are doing, whether you like it or not, they're doing it, and slip something of the deen in it. So it was al-faqih al-muqaddam said, let's add some element of deen in there, to have majalis, have talks. So that continued, and that developed over time. Okay, and then afterwards, the economy's completely transformed. Nobody does marketplaces anymore, right? So the visitation continued, and the marketplaces, khalas, economy's changed a long time ago. So they have someone's saying here it's a long time ago. How do they know? These things are passed down, just passed down from generation to generation, from before Islam, and until now, it's an elevated. The body's huge, and you could see it's like a hill, right? And it's huge, the area where the grave is. So it's one of those things that's just passed down from generation to generation to generation. Like, I mean, for example, how do we know where a lot of sites are? If you think about it, how do we know where a lot of sites are? How do we know that the Kaaba that we're visiting today is where it is, right? How do we know it wasn't moved somewhere between 1400 years ago or Prophet Ibrahim's time until now? How do we know that? Similar with grave sites. How do you know that the Prophet's grave is actually there? It could have been somewhere else. It's generation after generation passed on with tawatur, to the point that it would be sort of absurd to imagine that somehow all these people conspired to lie. In any event, even by the way, the grave visitation doesn't make a difference. Even if it was like 1,000 miles away, what difference does it make? You go and do dua and dhikr and give talks. That's it. All right, next. All right, this masjid here is the masjid of Omar al-Mihdar. And this is the symbol of Tarim because it's such a beautiful mosque. It's the biggest masjid. And it has a very unique minaret. Who is, firstly, Omar al-Mihdar is the son of one of the big names and the big nodes of the Ba'alawi Sayyids, which is Abdurrahman al-Saqaf. So Abdurrahman al-Saqaf, had 13 sons. And the population of Ba'alawis really expanded big time with him. Of course, they were already big, but even more. 13 sons. Okay, Abdurrahman al-Saqaf. All of them shuyukh. The two biggest ones being Omar al-Mihdar, who built this masjid and designed it himself, and the other is Abu Bakr al-Sakran. And he designed that after going to India. And he spent some time in India. And he came back and he designed the masjid based on that. That minaret is what you see everywhere. That's like their number one piece of architecture. Although it's not Yemeni style at all. That's not the Hadrami style. The door is, yes, that door is how they make all their doors. Their door is this dark wood filled with bolts. But that's the famous Masjid al-Mihdar. And while we were there on the 1st of Rajab, they have a huge celebration in which they sing qasidas and they recite different praises of the Prophet ﷺ, because in that month, Islam entered Tarim for the first time. In the month of Rajab. So every Rajab, they celebrate that.
And Sayyid Zain al-Haddad, who was giving us the tour at that time, he said two things. He said, one, this is the largest man-made minaret, clay minaret that exists.
Oh, really? It's the largest clay minaret.
And meaning they don't use, remember we saw all the workers?
Yeah.
They don't use technology.
No, they don't use any tech.
They don't use anything. It's all man-made.
Yeah.
And then the second thing he said was that, like when Habib talked about the 5 blessed nights, like the
Yep.
2 Laylatul Eids and the
Mhm.
Rajab and Nisf Shaban,
Yeah.
he said that usually what happens is the night before there's a gathering in Masjid Ba'alawi,
Mm-hmm.
and then Fajr is always the gathering in
It
Masjid
is here.
Ba'alawi.
MashaAllah. All right, next picture. All right, that's some, when you go on the rides in Great Adventure and they take a snapshot of you. Here these brothers are engrossed in dua and someone screenshotted them from the live stream of al-Mustafa's live stream. Okay, so that's Habib Sayyid back there, that's Zaib, that's Sheikh Murabit, and that's Brother Jalal. That's Ryan, that's Yusuf Chuck. Okay. All right, so that is the big Thursday Mawlid. It's look at the doors. They're outside the doors. It's 2,000 people show up to the big event, the big Thursday gathering that they have, and it gathers pretty much everyone in the town that shows up to this. 2,000 people packed into the streets, and it's live streamed. You could probably watch it. You could watch this every week if you wanted to, and that's where they're getting this footage from. They went to the live stream and they got the footage. There's a camera in the mihrab that's pointing downwards, and that's where they're getting this footage from. Okay, next. Another beautiful night, and that was a picture from Nabi Hud. All right, that's our ED right there. That's Yassine, and that's Harun. Sammy's locked in. Elyan. The locals are. We'll get all these references. All right, so this was on the first night of the trip. They took us up on Friday night to the top of the mountain. So we are at the top of the mountain, overlooking all the other mountains and overlooking the city. Right behind us, if you were to turn around, you see the whole city of Tarim there. So, yeah, see how it's surrounded? It's like a football stadium, completely surrounded, and that's one of the mountaintops that we're on. And they took us on the first night of the trip. They took us to the top of the mountain. Look at that's Habib Muhammad Al-Aidarus. All right, and that's some of our guys next to him from Jersey, other guys from Dallas. That's DS3 next to him from Dallas. Okay. Huh? Yeah, they came on the stream, these guys. Yeah, and they're going to come again, inshallah, if they could hook up an echo onto the road. That's DS4. Yep. All right, next. Let's see. All right, so while you're showing this, that's after every salah, they have adhkar. And this is an example of the adhkar. This is al-Mustafa itself. You're seeing, I don't know who illegally took this footage because they usually don't allow that, but nonetheless, someone took it. That's myself sitting next to Habib Kadhim. He had just given the speech, the talk, sorry. And then we do the taslim. Wait, I think we do the adhkar and the sleep first. Then he gives the talk. But they do a musafaha, which is everybody shakes hands with everybody else, walking in a pattern. And then when they're finished, they just sit down and they do the adhkar. Right? You can fast forward a little bit and see if there's. Looks like someone just took. There you go. You know, one of the things I really focused on, they said, you know, a person, you just worry about yourself, focus on yourself, and Allah Ta'ala will spread your word. Purify yourself, study, do a dhikr, and Allah will take your word far and wide. That's our gangsters. Look at these gangsters coming in here. Coming to Tarim. Look at the nur on. Yeah. All right, another Ryan Hassan. Sheikh Yahya's son there, mashallah. Amazingly, Sheikh Yahya and Mustafa Davis's sons, I ran into them both. They're both students there. So 25 years later. So that's Masjid al-Mihdar again. Next picture. That's Masjid Imam al-Haddad, which I missed out on that trip. The whole Ratib is written around there. Yep. Yep. Or on the lamps. Wow, Ajib. All right, this was at the trip to Nabiullah Hud, and there was an elevated area there, a rooftop that we sat and met with you can see between myself and Sheikh Musab Penfound, there are two of our hosts telling us about the trip, telling us everything we need to know, etc. Again, the minaret of Masjid Mihdar. Next. Again, next. All right, that's again another image of what a town in Tarim. This is a small town, is empty though. Only in Shaban does it fill up for the visitation of Nabiullah Hud. And for them, you have to understand something, as somebody was explaining to me on the way, for them, this was their tribal meetup too. All the tribes come, and they have what they call the mansab, which is the leaders of the tribes, and each one of them has a location. So it has multiple functions. It's not just it has multiple functions. Aside from religious teaching, they all get to see one another as well and gather. So every day after Dhuhr, the Dawra program involved a class with Al-Habib Abu Bakr, Ali Abu Bakr. And he used to be in charge of the students in al-Mustafa when I was there in 1999. Everyone was afraid of him. But here, everyone loved him. He no longer does that job, and he runs his own school now. And the students loved him, honestly, because he gave his class as if it was just chit-chat. But you learned so much. Next. Habib Kadhim gave a number of classes. That's our main man, Omar. He's going to fast forward. That's me and Sheikh Murabit. Keep going. All right, that's the finale, actually. This is the final day. That room there is the house of Habib Ali Abu Bakr. And Habib Omar came and attended the final session and gave a farewell speech to everybody. And Habib Omar, at this point in time, is constantly surrounded with security for the sake of, number one, there were attempts made on his life in the past. So they have security around him. And number two, he's constantly swarmed. He could never go from point A to point B. He wouldn't move. So they have to almost etch out a path for him because he's so in demand that people talk to him, ask him for dua. And his state these days is not like anybody else's. He's not like other people in his state. He's constantly, you could feel that he's constantly, he's not distracted by people. He's not distracted by anything. He's constantly with Allah. That's the feeling that you get. It's hard to describe it, but you could tell when someone is in a very powerful spiritual state and someone is, different from that. But it could possibly be a great, we're not judging people here, but we could tell the state that person's in. It's like someone who's in Tawaf. You in Tawaf, making Umrah, are not the same when you're at home, on a Saturday night. It's not the same, right? You're in a different state. That's what we're talking about. All right, next. All right, so I was a reader on the first night and read from a book called Khuluquna, which we actually finished in ArcView, ironically, and we read it again there. A couple pages from that book I read, and he gave the lesson. Okay, keep going. And this is actually the personal, this is Habib Omar's house that he has, which is maybe one block off from al-Mustafa. And you're going to see al-Mustafa in a second. But this is his house where he holds classes there. He receives his guests there. He receives all his guests there. And there's a second half to the house, I guess, that maybe part of his family, the part where his family goes. But our business is in the first half of the house. Yeah. This is all the shiur. That's Habib Abdurrahman Mashhur, Habib Muhammad Aidarus, Habib Kadhim, and on the other side, Ali Abu Bakr. That's the finale. That's the final gathering that we had here. All right, another picture from the first night of the trip, overlooking the mountain. Next. That was inside the tent that we had the first night, because the breeze is pretty strong. So they put up a tent for us, and they gave us a wonderful dinner. And that's Habib Muhammad Aidarus, myself, Sheikh Murabit, and then that is a Lebanese young scholar from Australia. That's Sheikh Musa Panfan, and that next to him there is Shahist, who is an old friend from SOAS in 2003. Shahist Ahmed, yeah. And what do they call Muhammad Shahist there? They call him Ahmed Shahist. Okay, I know him as Shahist. Sheikh Ahmed. So from 2003, he's been there and he never left. He went to maybe 2006, actually. He went to the Dawra earlier, came back, did SOAS. I was in graduate school. He was just doing his college degree. And then I think 2006 or 5, he came to Tarim, never looked back. Was there ever since. And now he is the main translator, at least in this Dawra. He was the main translator for anyone who needed it. At Habib Omar's house, he was the main translator. And he's, mashallah, remained steadfast. So it was a great reunion to meet him again after so many years. That's me there, probably not blinking, but sleeping, because there is something called the Tarimi nap, basically, is that Habib Omar has the whole city, everyone on such a schedule. Everyone is dozing off at any given time. The day starts at 3:30 a.m. Your alarm goes off at 3:30 a.m. You get down there, there's already going to be 2-3 safs. You're not going to get the first saf. If you wake up at 3:30, by the time you wake up, make wudu, get down there, you will not have the first 2 safs. To get the first saf, you need to be in the musalla at 3:15. So your alarm goes off at 3:30. You're not. You're already in the 3rd or 4th saf, and it's first tahajjud silently, then it's awrad, and they even have a recording playing in the streets from 3:30 onwards to wake up people for tahajjud. It's like a slow recitation and a slow dua being recited by like an old man, and they play that in the streets. You're going to see the streets. I'll show you. We got plenty of footage. Don't worry. All right. And so your day starts at 3:30. Everyone is constantly, if there's a moment, they're dozing off. All right. Next. Here's an example of the streets in Old Tarim. Just myself and the group walking to one of the gatherings there. Next. All right. That was a beautiful picture that someone captured from the live stream, I suppose, I guess. And that was our first night. So that was the first I saw Habib at Fajr, and he knew we were coming, by the way. I was like touched. He kept asking, has the group come? Has the group come? So I was so happy to know that. And then at Fajr, everyone does Mustafa, but it's quick. So we had our first Mustafa. That was our first time actually sitting together. So that was a really happy moment. I'm glad someone was able to catch that picture. All right, so here, all right, we went to a restaurant, which most of those pictures will come at the end, but the video. But I wanted to show everyone how simple the country is. This was the side of the restaurant. That's the wall of the restaurant, right? You're going to see those videos at the end. Keep going. This was the masjid of Al-Habib, of Al-Muhajir Ahmed ibn Isa. And that's where that's the little grave site there, of a very small area. Almost felt like Masjid al-Fath. I mean, you know how we go up to Masjid al-Fath and make that dua there on Wednesday between Dhuhr and Asr. Very small, crammed. Everyone was cramming in. Okay, next. All right, it's myself and Habib Kadhim. The 5 blessed nights. The 2 nights before Eid, Laylat Nisf min Sha'ban, the 1st of Rajab, and Laylat al-Qadr. Of course, outside of Ramadan, these are 4 main nights, and they do Ihya'ul Layl. And Ihya'ul Layl is the idea there is just do ibadah, do good deeds, make dua, and the dua is answered in those. People who need stuff, who want stuff, you got to know these four nights. You got to take advantage of them. And Imam Malik, he used to do Ihya al-Layl for the beginning of every new Hijri month. He used to do Ihya al-Layl for every new, not just Rajab, 1st of Rajab, and the 2 Eids, and Laylat al-Nisf min Sha'ban. He used to do it for all of the beginning months. All right, Omar, let's go to the next one. Next video. So there they have some. No, there's plenty. There, see, there's more. Go back to the link I sent you, because there's a lot more. I sent you a link. I updated the link and everything. No, the one I sent you on WhatsApp, where I said updated. Not that one. Not these are the Egypt ones. That link. Click on that link. No, there's got to be more. Yeah, see, plenty more. Yeah. All right, so these are our men, our brothers, on the grounds. Remember, I told you the whole point I went on this trip, we're doing this stream about this trip, is that so you could go to these trips. You, listeners right now, you can be there next year, right? Winter Dora, is that the name of the website, or is it Muwasala? Winter Dota. That's the word that you need. Dota is spelled D-O-W-R-A. You go for the summer Dota, it's 40 days. But this one is so practical. It's easier for people to do. The weather is easier, right? And this is more likely for people to attend. And the price is cheap. So those brother, that's Habib, and that's Muhammad, and that's Ryan first, and then Ilyan, and they're there studying. And Habib recommended for people to study there 3 to 6 years. Right? If you're going to go and study, if not just take a quick trip, you could take a year off, do 1 year. But if you're there to study, he recommended between 3 and 6 years. And he recommended you go back to your organization, that if you had an organization that got you there, or that was your group, and either work with them or branch out, but in the name of the group. Right? So that whatever you bring back, you're benefiting the organization, or you're still aligned with the organization that helped you. And one of the things that some of the Shabab said that they didn't like is that people were sort of nurtured from zero, then went to Tarim for many years, and then came back and then just cut off the old people and did their own thing, right? Now, by Sharia, there's nothing wrong with that. But adab-wise, it's not a good feeling for people. And it's also almost like why the organization may start asking itself, we're investing in these people, in humans, not for our own personal benefit, but for the benefit of the work. But that benefit never comes back to us. They just up and leave, right? And they do their own thing and sometimes compete against them. So it's all allowed by Sharia. There's nothing wrong with it, but it doesn't leave a good taste in a person's mouth. And hence, when I asked in my own private meeting with Habib Omar, I asked, one of the questions that someone wanted me to ask was this question: do we branch out, or do we work with them? He said, do you work with them if they have a need? If they don't, branch out in the name of that org, which I think was a brilliant answer. All right, next picture.
So you're about to enter into Old Tarim, whatever intentions you want to make.
All right, so that's an example of what the road to Tarim looked like, and that you can see the Yemeni flag with the blue triangle. That's the old South Yemen flag, when the South was its own country. Okay, next. Huh? Yeah. All right, that's al-Mustafa right there. That was our first time driving past it, and most of the transport, like most of Asia, happens by motorcycle. Next video. And that's the main musalla. That's what you see in Muwasala, and you see Habib there. There's like a dome raised area, and there's that nice, beautiful wooden area, and that's where all the brothers are sitting. And that was one of that really good eligible bachelor there named Omar Abbasi. Okay. All right, here's the exit and the entrance. This is the side entrance. The main exit was closed the whole trip, but this is the little sort of courtyard area. Is that it? Okay, play it again. And pause it when it gets to the courtyard area. Yeah, there you go. You see that this area is the entrance where all the students come, and very few, it's not a road. Cars don't pass, but a car could go there, but they usually don't. And that's the area where students would gather before and after. Okay, continue. As you could see there, it's completely segregated. The whole town is completely segregated. There will not be a mixed gathering the entire night. All right. The entire, I said night because the footage is showing. That's that's about 3:30, 4 a.m. I'm actually pretty late, unfortunately. But this is just to show you the walk there in the morning.
They start actually at 3:30.
You hear the adhkar?
That light there, that's where all those lights are where al-Mustafa is. This dirt path all the way down. I finally got some amenities where you can have some tea and kettle and everything. so I can get some.
I think I'm
tea and
sending a personal message to
alert.
somebody, but anyway, I'll show you guys the video. But we never got our spoons, bro.
So this is day,
Yeah.
the full day.
Oh
205.
man, yeah.
So Saturday, yesterday was our first full day.
Oh my god.
And today's Sunday.
Just to give
The
you
day off is actually
just to give you an
Thursday
idea of what
afternoon
the area around Al-Mustafa looks like.
Friday.
It's extremely peaceful walk.
Pretty much all of
Athkar
Friday.
are going on. Don't ask me why there are light poles in the middle of the road. By the way, Hadramaut is under Saudi protection. However, Saudi has not sent a governor. They govern themselves. There's no government. They govern themselves, basically. Yeah, basically, Habib Omar has a police force that makes it's safe. It's extremely safe. You know that I asked somebody, do I really need to lock up my doors?
But it's
He said, yeah, because there are some people here. And he's like,
Nearby.
looks both ways. Says, they smoke.
and
right?
all this is actually broadcast on.
That's the corruption, right? He's like, be careful. Not everyone here is good.
And there's the guard
Some people smoke.
dutifully doing
Subhanallah.
his job as he sleeps.
Yeah.
And al-Mustafa does operate its own police force in the area.
Yep.
Make sure things stay safe.
All right, so that's again the entrance way into Dar al-Mustafa. All right, continuing on. Yeah, those are like the guards. Yeah. All right, so this is the entry hallway. Very nice stone entrance, and there is the musalla. And this will be filled up within another 20 minutes. I think next year they're going to pass 100 people at the winter Dora.
It's like doubling.
No, it's going to double soon. You know, the summer is 1,000 people. Yeah,
This is huge.
70.
This is an outdoor,
The winter Dora? 70? 80?
an outdoor operation.
This is their
They got
extension.
these,
Imagine this.
spikes that
An outdoor area
cement's gonna go around
for different big events and gatherings.
What are they going to be?
You can fast forward through this one, Omar. Just keep clicking up. Yeah.
Oh.
Because this was just some footage on the extension that they have going on there. Yeah, it's huge.
Oh, this is huge.
No roof. Open. I think it's open roof. Yeah.
Wow. That's a beautiful outdoor site. Like, do you have like a gathering here on this mountain or something? And then, oh, look at this mountain.
It's slightly elevated.
It's cool from outside.
Yeah. No, actually, it's on the ground floor. Actually, is it ground floor? I don't know. Yeah. All right. Some more
This is
footage.
the way to the school. You see here is mountain here. Mountain back there. If you can see that. Another mountain there. And another mountain up here. So that's why they call it a valley. Because it's tucked within these mountains. You see all these buildings are still made out of mud. Those are mud strips right there. Like if it rains really, really hard, if you pour hot water on that, possibly start melting.
Yeah, you could probably just make it
Probably
into
like
mud
some
again.
Villages in Egypt, Pakistan, you got that nice smell of dusty dirt roads, but also
Yeah.
grilling and kerosene and stuff, diesel. Somebody. Here you have a nice little goat. Look at this little goat. Look at this little lamb. Oh my gosh. How cute. Look at all these goats you can own here in Tarim, but not in New Brunswick. Another one.
One really cool thing was like all the water fountains they had open, just to get water everywhere.
Oh, subhanallah. All right, that's at Nabiullah Hud.
فالحمد لله الذي من به فباعتنينا وحوينا السؤددا صلى الله عليه أرسله فينا برحمته التي عظمت فحزنا منزلا متفردا صلى الله عليه اختاره وهو المعظم شأنه وهو الشفيع الأعظم الأسنى
All right, very good.
وله لواء الإله
MashaAllah. So that was Alif. That was our guy. All right, and this is the image overlooking that. And that's a temporary town, basically. It fills up only. Now, this is an important picture. That is a student of knowledge from South Africa who is 75 years old. He's enrolled as a student. You know, the whole vibe here is mulazama. Mulazama is to constantly be in the company of. If you want to be learned, you don't have to worry just about the 4 years that you're young, right? If you observe mulazama and you're constantly around scholars and you have certain books that you're studying, you will plow through those books, even if it takes a decade. For myself, between Aqrab al-Masalik and Mukhtasar Khalil, it's going to take a while, but this is man's an inspiration. He's 75 years old. He's still finishing the Shafi'i curriculum from South Africa. Oh, it wasn't South Africa? Yeah. Maybe he was from Habasha, who knows? But he spoke English. Arabic is his second language. Oh, I had a lot of hope after seeing him, right? Right. So, I mean, if you're 40, if you were to just start at the age of 40, but if you observe mulazama is constantly being around. There's no end site where you say, okay, I'm done, right? There is in the curriculum where you study the Mufta Bihi book. What is it in the Hanafi fiqh? Al-Hidayah, right? That's the Mufta Bihi. If you know, I guess if you know that really well, you know the rulings, right? Essentially, of course, you have to read the shuruhat and everything, right? For us, it's Mukhtasar Khalil, which we're taking classes in now. And under that, the preparatory book is Aqrab al-Masalik that people should know. But our goal here with the live stream is to spread this concept and idea that you should always be involved in knowledge. And ArcView is the path, the route, not only to get you started, but also to get up to the final books. That's why we revamped it. And what was ArcView Plus is now just individual pathways where you would study with a sheikh twice a week, and he would get you up there. Right? We have Hanbali fiqh, Shafi'i fiqh, Aqidah, Maliki fiqh, Hanafi fiqh, and a full track in Arabic. Speaking of which, we have to tell you about Sheikh Mahdi's class. Okay, we're almost done here. This is a nice moment shared with Habib Omar at the final meeting. All right, let's take a look at this restaurant.
Wow. MashaAllah, this is the restaurant. And so we ordered some lamb. Okay, so when you order lamb, apparently you are ordering a live lamb that has to get cleaned out.
Hashtag PETA.
SubhanAllah. So this is unique because I saw Saqaf call in the order. When he calls in the order, though, he literally called in the order of a slaughter. And they took one of these guys, gave him the treatment. Now, if you order tea, I guess this is what you're getting. This is the kitchen where they're washing the dishes. This is where they're making the sauce. That's the saucier of the restaurant. And this is the grill.
Saucier? Yeah, the guy who makes it.
Shurba. That's the grill. Let's go look at the animals. Whoa, what happened to this goat here? Where such tiny ears? I guess this is the pantry, right? Where the food supplies are, right? But some of them have really small ears, you notice that?
Next one. Yeah.
This is the
All right, this is Tarim in the middle of the day.
second session of the day, which is basically it's 11 o'clock. Head out.
So this is, you did the morning session, have breakfast, take a nap, get up again,
The street looks like in the daytime. Look at
and
the
this is like the middle of the day.
Everything is in this valley. That's why they call it a valley, because it's all there, all three sides, and fourth side there. And so we got here people look like they're some random goats.
There's random goats and chickens walking everywhere.
Look at that chicken. Look at this chicken.
It's such a nice feeling going somewhere with dirt roads, and it's literally another world. You just when the cellular data doesn't even work there. Like there's no tower that you can connect to. Look at this, just random goat walking around. Yeah.
Wow. Look at all these goats.
I'm wondering if you're the owner of the goats, wouldn't you want to make sure your goats don't
look at
go
this
astray?
baby. Eating plastic.
All right, last one.
This
And here's one of our last videos. No, stay.
is the
Oh, it's the same video? Yeah, that's the last video. There should be one more. Nothing? That's it?
this is the
Oh, okay, there's nothing else. All right, what about that one with the motorcycle right there?
We saw this. This is the restaurant.
Oh, we saw that one already. Okay.
There's two reels I can play. They're pretty good.
All right, let's go to the reels. The Winter Doe, is it Winter Dota's Instagram page? Oh, look at Shahiyah getting the put that up. Go back. We're on Instagram here, just scrolling through here. Let's take a look.
Shigehia was in India while we were in Tarim.
Let's take a look. Sheikh Yahya, I met that sheikh on the left. He came to America, but he got himself the whole getup, the flower necklace, and he got an award too. MashaAllah, look at the flower necklace. Sheikh Rajab Shanturk. Yeah, look, he got the flower necklace. Next picture. Whoa. Wow, that's massive. See, these are the Indian Muslims whom the Yemeni Ba'adawis influenced, and that's why they're Shafi'is. And that's the connection there. And he's given a talk there. No, Yemenis influenced them. This must be a school that he's speaking at. Kerala.
Shigehia was saying when they brought a small amount of the students
Yeah.
to the gathering, there were thousands of students. He's like, this is just something.
Wow, subhanallah. All right, keep going.
They look Yemeni too.
Oh, they're dressed like. Look at that.
Wow, what a king, man.
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah.
Sitting like a king in that picture.
It's like when worlds collide. Like Dr. Rajab
Yep.
and
Yeah.
India. MashaAllah. SubhanAllah.
Subhanallah.
That was a side quest, but
That was great.
let's go to the real.
Let's go to the Winter Dota's page. So, look, if you want to keep up, if you want to ask questions, if you want to show up for this next year, go to this Instagram page. Okay. Actually, Omar, can you put the whole page so that actually, I guess you don't have to. It's Winter Dota. That's it. Dota is DOWRA, and you can probably ask them questions about when you could sign up, when you could go. I'll probably go every couple of years, but taking a group with us, of course. And every year you should go. Every year there will be people coming, inshallah. All right, here we go.
It's kind of hard to see, but
Yeah, it's hard to see.
actually it should be fine on the YouTube.
All right, next picture. Oh, it's a video. Oh, that's us coming up the steps of... Oh, this is a general. Younger kids can go too. Look how beautiful that is. It's going up Nabiullah Hud. Little masjid up there.
The Arabs knew about the prophets, even if they had distorted their religions.
The direct descendant is a close relative of Habib al-Nafs, the direct descendant of Sheikh Abu Bakr bin Salam. بطه أحمد يا الله وبما بعد الزرينا يا ربي واجعلنا يا محمد يا من خلق من نور ربه الله يا من سمي قبل
Yeah, that's the beginning of the grave right there. Good. So this is their Instagram page. Winter Dauda's Instagram page. Let's see the next one. Okay, so this is the first of Rajab to have a big celebration when Islam arrived in Yemen. All right, let's see that one. Bukhur is being passed out non-stop there, and the top quality too. That's a gorgeous masjid. I didn't even see it from the outside because I was sitting in the front. Front was packed, man. All of them. Great job, whoever made these. Yeah. Tea, coffee, and bukhur. You'll get no shortage of that the whole trip. That's insane. Yeah. What else do they have on their winter Dauda reel?
They got some really good reels, actually.
The way they did the bukhur, you know the burner they have, right? They had 4 coals on it and like a stack of the burner, like, mix it around.
ومن أثر انتشار
Yeah, you gotta follow this page. That's D3. Let's see the other one. Oh, there's more.
صلى عليك الله يا أحمد نور المنازل يا محمد يلي خلق من نور ربه يا من سمي قبل يولد صلى من خلق من نور ربه يا من سمي قبل يوم أهلا وسهلا بحبي يا من سكن وسط قلبي وفي الهوى صار حسبي هذه مقادير ربي صلى عليك بولي قط مثلي أنا العقايب في أهلي وقد عثرت بجهلي يا رحل أحباب في صلى عليك الله يا أحمد نور المنازل يا محمد يا من خلق من نور ربه يا من سميك باليولا يا من نظر عرض كتبه وقد شم ريح المحبة من لم يشم المحبة خاف الإطلاق الطبي صلى عليك الله يا أحمد نور المنازل يا محمد يا من خلق من نور ربه يا من سميك باليولا قلبي معلق معهم في أرضهم وسماء